Welcome to this week's Neurology Deep Dive. We're here, as always, with educational insights for you, the practicing neurologist. No commercial interests here, purely focused on the science.
And today we've got some really interesting unpublished data, fresh from the AAN Annual Meeting 2025.
Exactly. We wanted to bring this to you quickly because it seems quite significant for clinical practice. We're talking about Telitacicept, or RC18. Specifically, its Phase 3 trial in Generalized Myasthenia Gravis.
Right, GMG. We'll be digging into the efficacy and safety results from that trial.
And really thinking about what this might mean for how you manage your GMG patients day to day.
Okay, so first off, Telitacicept. What is it? It's a novel fusion protein developed by RemeGen.
And the mechanism is interesting, isn't it? The dual targeting.
Yes, that's the key feature. It goes after two separate targets. BLyS, that's B lymphocyte stimulator, and also APRIL, a proliferation-inducing ligand. It hits both.
So unlike some treatments that might focus on just one pathway.
Correct. By blocking both BLyS and APRIL, it potentially offers a more thorough way to modulate B-cell activity in myasthenia gravis.
That dual action seems central. Let's get into the trial itself, the Phase 3 study.
Okay, the trial identifier is NCT0573716E. This was run in China. Multicenter, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled, the gold standard design.
And Professor Jian Yin from Beijing Hospital led the investigation.
That's right.
Who were the patients they enrolled? What were the criteria?
They included 114 patients with GMG. The important thresholds were a baseline MG-ADL score of 6 or more and a QMG score of 8 or more, so patients with a definite disease burden.
Indicating a clear impact on their daily lives and muscle function.
Exactly. They split them evenly, 57 getting telitacicept, 240 milligrams, and 57 getting placebo.
And the results we're discussing now are from that initial 24-week double-blind phase.
Correct, the first 24 weeks.
All right, let's get to the core findings. The efficacy results at week 24, what did they see?
Really quite substantial differences. If we look at the MG-ADL score, the mean change from baseline in the telitacicept group was minus 5.74 points.
Minus 5.74. And placebo?
Only minus 0.91 points, a very small change.
That's a huge difference. Almost a 6-point improvement on telitacicept versus less than 1 point on placebo. Clinically, that's very meaningful for daily function.
Absolutely. And look at the response rates. They defined a response as at least a 3-point drop in the MG-ADL score.
Okay, a standard threshold for clinical significance.
In the telitacicept group, 98.1% of patients achieved that response.
98%. That's
Yep.
remarkably high.
It is, compared to just 12.0% in the placebo group. The paper notes this 98.1% response rate is, in fact, the highest reported for any GMG drug in Phase 3 studies to date.
That's a strong statement. And the MG-ADL, just to remind everyone, really captures the patient's own experience of symptoms and daily life impact, so that these improvements are very patient relevant. What about the QMG scores?
Very similar picture with the QMG, which is more of an objective measure of muscle strength.
Right, the clinician-assessed score.
The mean change there was minus 8.66 points for telitacicept, again, compared to placebo, which was minus 2.27 points.
Another big separation.
And the response rate, defined here as a 5-point or greater reduction in QMG score,
Also a recognized threshold for meaningful change.
was 87.0% for telitacicept versus only 16.0% for placebo. So substantial, clinically meaningful improvements on both scales.
It's good to see the consistency between the patient-reported MG-ADL and the objective QMG. It strengthens the findings.
It really does. They correlate well here. And importantly, the improvement wasn't just a one-off effect. The scores in the telitacicept group kept trending down, kept improving right through to week 24. They saw sustained benefit.
Okay, impressive efficacy. But what about safety? That's always crucial, especially with immunomodulatory drugs.
The safety profile looked quite favorable. Telitacicept was reported as well tolerated.
Overall adverse events, similar between groups.
Yes, the overall AE incidence was comparable. But here's a really interesting point. The rate of infection-related adverse events.
Which is often a key concern.
Exactly. It was actually lower in the telitacicept group. 45.6% experienced infection-related AEs compared to 59.6% in the placebo group.
Lower than placebo. That's quite notable and reassuring for this class of therapy.
It is. It's certainly something that stands out from the safety data presented.
Did Professor Yin, the lead investigator, offer his perspective on these overall findings?
He did. He emphasized, naturally, the rapid and significant improvements seen and the good tolerability.
Did he comment specifically on the mechanism?
Yes, he linked the results back to that dual BLyS-APRIL targeting. His view is that this comprehensive inhibition of B cells and plasma cells reduces the pathogenic antibodies effectively.
leading to the clinical benefit observed,
Right. And he suggested this might potentially slow down long-term disease progression. Also, perhaps allow for reducing steroid doses as patients improve.
which is always a goal in managing GMG.
Definitely. He framed telitacicept as potentially offering a more precise, efficient, persistent, and safer approach for treating GMG.
It's helpful to put this into the broader context of myasthenia gravis for our listeners. Just a quick refresher.
Sure, NG, it's that autoimmune condition affecting the neuromuscular junction. Causes fatigue, fluctuating weakness. It's chronic, often needs long-term treatment, and flare-ups can happen.
And most patients do progress to the generalized form, right?
Yes, over 85% develop GMG within about 2 years of onset. It's a significant global health issue, maybe 1.2 million people worldwide, and around 220,000 estimated in China, based on Frost and Sullivan data. There's still a substantial unmet need.
Definitely. So given these promising phase 3 results, where does telitacicept stand now in terms of approvals and further development?
Well, in China, the biologics license application, the BLA, has been accepted by their regulatory agency, the CDE.
And approval is expected soon.
They anticipate approval there in the second quarter of this year, so quite soon.
And beyond China,
RamaGen is running a global multi-center phase 3 trial. That's crucial for validating these findings in a wider, more diverse population, and of course for seeking approvals in other regions like the US and Europe.
so these results from AAN, while still unpublished formally, really provide some significant food for thought for neurologists treating GMG.
I think so. The strength of the efficacy data, those MG-ADL and QMG numbers, are quite compelling.
And coupled with that safety profile, particularly the lower infection signal compared to placebo, it paints an interesting picture.
And that novel dual targeting mechanism hitting both BLyS and APRIL could represent a genuine advance if these results hold up in broader populations.
So the final thought for you, our listener, as you manage your patients with generalized myasthenia gravis, consider how these findings on telitacicept might fit into the evolving treatment landscape. With global trials ongoing and approvals potentially on the horizon, it's certainly one to watch.